Love is powerful, but can be dangerous when blinded by emotion. The timeless tragedy of Romeo and Juliet, penned by the masterful William Shakespeare around 1595, unfolds in the picturesque yet feuding cities of Verona and Mantua, Italy. This romantic drama tells the heart-wrenching story of two young lovers from the rival houses of Montague and Capulet. Their love is pure and all-consuming, a beacon of hope in a world consumed by generational hatred. However, the deep-seated animosity between their families ultimately paves the way for a series of devastating events and heartbreaking consequences, sealing their tragic fate. This story serves as a powerful testament to how forbidden love can blossom in the most hostile environments, only to be crushed by the very forces it seeks to overcome. The streets of Verona are a battleground for the Montagues and the Capulets, whose ancient grudge has festered for years, erupting into frequent and bloody conflicts. The animosity runs so deep that even their servants engage in public brawls, disrupting the peace and drawing the ire of the city's ruler, Princi. He decrees that any further disturbance will be punishable by death, a desperate attempt to quell the violence that poisons his city. It is within this volatile atmosphere of hatred and strife that the most unlikely of loves is destined to be born, challenging the very foundations of this long-standing feud. Seeking to lift his spirits from a bout of unrequited love, a young Romeo Montague, along with his quick-witted friend and other companions, decides to riskily attend a grand feast hosted by the Capulets. Masked and hidden amongst the enemy, Romeo's eyes fall upon Juliet Capulet, and in an instant the world around them fades away. He is captivated by her beauty, and she, in turn, is drawn to his earnest gaze. They share a dance and a stolen kiss, a moment of pure, unadulterated connection. It is only after they part that they discover the devastating truth. He is a Montague, and she a Capulet. Their love, born in a moment of shared wonder, is now forbidden by the names they carry, an obstacle that seems insurmountable. Determined to be together, despite the chasm between their families, Romeo and Juliet defy the hatred that surrounds them. With the clandestine assistance of the benevolent Friar Lawrence, a Franciscan friar who hopes their union might finally end the bitter family rivalry, they secretly marry just one day after their first meeting. This sacred vow is a bold act of rebellion, a testament to their belief that their love can triumph over the generations of conflict that have defined their lives. They place their faith in the friar's vision, hoping that their love will not only bring them happiness but also heal the wounds of their warring households and bring peace to Verona. However, fate takes a cruel and tragic turn, setting in motion a devastating chain of events. Juliet's fiery cousin, Tybalt, still incensed by Romeo's presence at the Capulet party, challenges him to a duel. Romeo, now considering Tybalt family by marriage, refuses to fight. His loyal friend Mercutio, unable to stand by and watch Romeo's honor be questioned, steps in to fight Tybalt instead. The duel ends in tragedy as Mercutio is fatally wounded. Consumed by grief and a thirst for vengeance, Romeo abandons his reason, confronts Tybalt, and kills him. This single act of impulsive rage shatters any hope of reconciliation. As punishment for shedding Capulet blood, the Prince of Verona banishes Romeo from the city, exiling him to Mantua and forcibly separating the newlywed lovers. With Romeo banished, Juliet is left utterly heartbroken and desperate. Her parents, oblivious to her secret marriage and misinterpreting her sorrow as grief for arrange for her to marry the nobleman Paris, believing it will lift her spirits. Horrified at the prospect of this bigamous union, Juliet seeks help from Friar Lawrence. The friar, desperate to avert another tragedy, devises a dangerous plan. He gives Juliet a powerful sleeping potion that will make her appear dead for 42 hours. The plan is for her family to place her in the Capulet tomb, believing she has died of grief. Meanwhile, the friar will send a message to Romeo in Mantua, explaining the ruse so he can return to Verona, rescue Juliet from the tomb as she awakens, and escape with her to a new life together. Tragically, the fragile plan is doomed by a catastrophic misunderstanding. The messenger sent by Friar Lawrence is delayed and never reaches Romeo Instead, Romeo's servant, having witnessed Juliet's funeral, travels to Mantua and informs his master that Juliet is truly dead. Shattered by the news, a grief-stricken Romeo purchases a vial of poison from an apothecary and rushes back to Verona, determined to die by his beloved's side. He arrives at the Capulet tomb, where he encounters a mourning Paris. In the ensuing confrontation, Romeo kills Paris before entering the crypt. Seeing Juliet's seemingly lifeless body, he delivers a final, heart-wrenching monologue, drinks the poison, and dies, kissing her one last time. Moments after Romeo's death, Juliet begins to awaken from her deep slumber. Just as Friar Lawrence arrives at the tomb, she sees her beloved Romeo lying dead beside her, the empty vial of poison clutched in his hand. The full weight of the tragedy crashes down upon her. As the friar pleads with her to flee, Juliet refuses to leave Romeo's side. Spotting his dagger, she sees her only escape from a world without him. With a final, resolute act, she takes the dagger and ends her own life, joining her husband in death. The arrival of the prince and the feuding families reveals the full, devastating scope of the tragedy. Faced with the bodies of their children, the Montagues and Capulets finally comprehend the catastrophic cost of their senseless hatred. In their shared grief, they agree to end their feud and reconcile, but it is a peace bought at the ultimate price. Hate and revenge destroy families and happiness. The story is driven by a cast of unforgettable main characters. Romeo Montague is a young man defined by his passionate and romantic nature, often guided more by his heart than his head. Juliet Capulet, initially portrayed as a naive young girl, reveals immense courage and determination as she defies her family and follows her heart. Friar Lawrence acts as a kind-hearted priest and mentor to the young lovers, whose well-intentioned plans tragically go awry. Mercutio, Romeo's closest friend, is a witty, loyal, and cynical character whose sharp tongue often masks a deep affection. In stark contrast, Tybalt Capulet is Juliet's hot-tempered cousin, a fierce defender of his family's honor whose aggression serves as a catalyst for the tragedy. The nurse Juliet's devoted and often humorous caretaker serves as her confidant and a maternal figure. Presiding over the chaotic city is Prince Esq, the ruler of Verona, who desperately tries to maintain peace and order between the warring families. The enduring power of Romeo and Juliet lies in its exploration of profound themes. The central theme is forbidden love, as the protagonist's relationship is doomed from the start by the animosity between their families. The story also heavily explores the concepts of fate and destiny, questioning whether the lovers' tragic end was predestined or a result of their own choices. The destructive nature of family conflict is a constant presence, highlighting how ingrained hatred can lead to devastating consequences for future generations. The theme of youth and impulsiveness is evident in the rash decisions made by Romeo and Juliet, whose intense emotions and lack of foresight contribute to their downfall. Ultimately, the play masterfully contrasts the transformative power of love with the corrosive force of hatred, showing how love can inspire great bravery but is ultimately no match for a world consumed by animosity. The play has gifted the world with some of the most famous quotes in literary history. When Juliet questions the arbitrary nature of their family names, she poignantly asks, "What's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet." This line beautifully captures the essence of their love, which transcends the meaningless labels that seek to divide them. The play concludes with the prince's somber reflection, encapsulating the immense sorrow of the tale. For never was a story of more woe than this of Juliet and her Romeo. This final couplet solidifies the play's status as the archetypal tragedy, a timeless warning about the destructive power of hatred. Communication and understanding are vital to prevent tragedy. Love, true love, is powerful but can lead to tragedy when faced with hate. Love, true love, is powerful but can lead to tragedy when faced with hate. Hatred, family, conflict destroys peace and happiness. Fate, destiny cannot be avoided, but wise choices matter. Youth acting too quickly can cause regret. Communication, misunderstanding can lead to loss. Sacrifice, great love, sometimes demands great pain. Peace, forgiveness brings unity after conflict.